Today we're going to take a look at RJ Barrett, a Duke's freshman, already announced that he's going to be heading to the draft, locked to be a top 3 pick, came in as the top ranked player in the country. Zion Williamson took over kind of that number 1 overall pick status, but RJ Barrett is one of the more complicated players to look at, and I think one of the most criticized top recruits, in part kind of just due to his play style. People kind of seem to have him misunderstood. So today I'm going to go over a little bit about what makes him special, why I think he's going to end up being an all-star in the NBA, and what he really needs to work on to maximize the ability that he has. So one of the big things with RJ Barrett, we see right here, in transition, powerful, can get to the rim, finishes, goes to his left a lot, but I mean, you see the way that he gets the ball going at full speed. It's a good defender there in Nikhil Alexander-Walker, and it doesn't matter. He splits guys on the regular. Like I said, one of the issues that I have is that he does tend to finish with his left hand, even on the right side, but still a really powerful physical athlete. And what's really interesting about RJ Barrett is he's not the most explosive end-to-end. You see right here, he's going to have a break, but then he's still going to take off and bang on Hachimura's head. So it's a weird kind of balance between power and explosiveness, but also a level of craftiness with the way he plays, which we'll look at later. But this is a guy who is going to push the pace. Like I said, excellent transition. If you don't stop the ball, he's headed straight to the rim. He's going to finish with contact. Now, this Gonzaga game was a game where I think the criticism really started to begin, where people would look at RJ Barrett and say, well, he's too tunnel vision. He's not really looking at his teammates when he's going to the basket. It's too much one-on-one. And here's an example of what people had an issue with. He would just put his head down, great shot block from Brandon Clark coming over. And, you know, at this point right here, he's already made up his mind. He's going to be taking this shot. Now, Norvell's going to help a little bit. He'll be strong enough to take him. And with Crandall on him, that's a guy that he's also going to be able to overpower. But the problem is, like I said, not a great athlete. He's crafty and he can elevate with space, but he's not getting up here. And if you're going up against Brandon Clark, you better have some elevation or some arc on that shot. And he didn't have either on that one. But to me, everything about RJ Barrett's game, when you really look at it, says that he's going to be a dynamic scorer in the NBA, a guy who's going to be able to average 20 points a game. And like I said, I think an all-star is definitely going to be in his future. So we're going to see right here, he's going to get a switch. Now, this is the first game of the season, so to Tyler Hero's defense, he wasn't as comfortable defensively as he was by the end of the year. But RJ Barrett's just going to say, I like this matchup. Nice behind-the-back move. Again, that's that craftiness I talk about. That's not a situation necessarily where he's going to overpower Hero, right? But he's setting him up here. Scouting report is he wants to go left. Hero's going to gut over to that side. That's a quick behind-the-back move. Help's not going to come over. All right. Let me take my time and finish with contact. And the whole isolation package is there. It was a lot of RJ Barrett saying, I'm going to go left, see what guys can stop me. And to be honest, at the college level, a lot of guys can't. But he's also got some other layers to his game offensively. Right here, we're going to see just a handoff, a little screen. Really solid in the screen and roll game, especially for a wing player. Going to see it's a nice little, it's going to jab at him with his right, create a little space on that step back. That's a shot he can make. Now, this is going to be the type of action where you're going to see RJ Barrett really thriving in the NBA. People talk about him as a guy who needs to be one-on-one. That's not the case at all. For a lot of the season, was really the best pick-and-roll player on this Duke team. He's going to get the defender on his back. Now he has Nick Ward on him. I mean, that's a matchup that he's going to be able to expose. As soon as he backs up, see this little area right here? He has all this space to operate. If he wanted, he could even hesitation dribble out here and get to the rim. but he's going to get to a spot he's comfortable at. 15 to 18 foot jump shot, pull up. That's a shot he can make and he's comfortable with. 3-point shot, as I'll look at later in this, kind of flat sometimes, but when he gets in that mid range, he's feeling real comfortable. And then prior to some beliefs, he is capable of scoring without the ball in his hands, getting open, finding some space to operate. He does have times where he'll stand around, but again, when you look at these top prospects, a lot of times they are used to having the ball in their hands a lot. And I think as the year went on, RJ got more comfortable kind of distributing and kind of turning into that lead playmaker for Duke. So here he's going to get a down screen. Obviously, Zion, an excellent screener. He's going to get this little curl, got the freshman Aaron Henry on him. And again, just sliding, slithering to the basket. That's good intelligence right here because he's going to get the ball right here. So Cash is going to come over. And now I want you to watch closely this hesitation just for a second. That's all that RJ Barrett needs. Right? Little hesitation. At this point, you got Zion rolling, so Xavier Tillman's going to have to get back. Cash is trying not to foul here. And Kenny Goins isn't bringing any help. So, all right. It's me against freshman on freshman right here. RJ Barrett's going to get the layup. But, again, as we talked about, the biggest gripe, I think, with RJ Barrett's game, and when people say, well, I don't know if he'll translate or not, is people thinking that he really doesn't have an idea of when it's time to pass or when it's time to score. So late in this Gonzaga game, we saw a lot of this. Turning up against pressure, gets blocked, ball goes out of bounds. You look at this situation, and after the game, I saw plenty of people talking about how RJ Barrett's got to stop playing hero ball and all this other stuff. This is really just him trying to make a play. Yeah, this needs to be a pass to Delorier for sure. You got a shot blocker coming over. Both Hachimura and Brandon Clark have committed. It's a dump off. You're going to tie the game if you get that pass off. And then next play, RJ Barrett drives, Corey Kispert cuts him off. Now at this point, again, Hachimura is going to come, commit, leave. Delorier is open again. He gives a little pump fake. That's a little wraparound bounce pass to Delorier. That's probably a dunk. We got a tie game again. Instead, he's going to get blocked, and that was really it. That was really it for this game against Gonzaga. But I'm not too concerned about that because what we really need to realize when analyzing RJ Barrett, and this is not to give him an excuse, but he's still young. I mean, we're talking about a teenager who's going up against, some of the best players in the ACC that are in college basketball. He's still learning how to play with other good players, and I think as the year went on, we really saw him start to mature, and I think that's going to help him at the next level. But what I have a bigger issue with than the offense is how sometimes he isn't quick enough to guard the ball on defense. So here, Aubrey Dawkins gets the ball straight blow by in transition. No type of containment at all. Now, again, RJ Barrett's not the best athlete. He's not the quickest guy. And laterally, he really struggles in closeout situations because, number one, he doesn't take the right angles. So we're going to see right here, all right, you're coming flat-footed. He's already got you off balance here. You got your back foot going back. And then all he needs is a hesitation, gets his feet stuck. And at that point, you've already lost the battle. He's got to do a better job of utilizing his length. He gets in the passing lanes and then can really do a lot in transition. But to get to that point, he's got to do a better job of using his length to contain the ball. Because there is going to be situations where he's going up against, there's quicker wings. There's definitely quicker guards in the NBA. And he's going to have to work to stay in front of them because he will be picked on until he can prove that he's committed to guarding and committing to really putting in that effort on the defensive end. So here we're going to see no idea where Dawkins is. Dawkins had already been lighting up Duke at this point, and RJ Barrett's just a spectator. He's just watching, not boxing out, not even helping with the box out on Taco Fall here. And Dawkins is going to get it, put up a second chance, and then Fall's going to get the follow. And, when we talk about, especially late in games, obviously throughout the game you want to make the right play, but late in games you can't have these kind of mistakes. You can't be not seeing your man going in for an offensive rebound, and you're just watching. It's a win or go home game. Then he gets it. All right, so you made a mistake here. What are you going to do next? Now RJ Barrett needs to work around and try to box out Taco Fall here. Instead, it's going to get blocked. I mean, it might have not mattered anyway, but he's going to get a dunk off of that. So it's really just those little effort things defensively for RJ Barrett that I think are really going to help him. Here we're going to see an example of what I think is a good and a bad defensive possession. It ends poorly, but the intention, I think, behind what he was doing is more what I would like to see. So here we're going to see a double team coming, kick out to Petrusev. All right, so here's the decision. You have a freshman who, solid three-point shooter, but doesn't take a high volume. Then you got Josh Perkins, a senior, who has been a proven knockdown three-point shooter for Gonzaga. So how do you close out? Because right now it's 2-on-1 no matter what. That was the decision made when you decided to double team Hachimura. So what he could do was come out and guard Petrusev normally and try to take away that shot from the jump, in which case Perkins is getting a three, or he comes out at an angle. I think he made the right choice. Come out at an angle, try to take away that pass, give your man Delorier some time to get over there, and then recover. But now here's the issue, right? So he takes away the passing lane, Delorier is coming back, but now he stays at that angle. That's a straight line drive. Petrusev is not a creative ball handler, about 6'10", a big, but if you give him wide open lane, he's skilled enough to get to the basket. And now that's just a layup. So these, just another little thing, right? Good closeout, take away the pass to the shooter, but now you got to get right back in here because Delorier is coming back. You got to get right back in the play and into position. You can't just be satisfied with taking away the three and now a layup comes from that. Because when he does play defense, what ends up happening is you'll get possessions like this. So here Zion's going to get it. So good on the break. He wants to get easy points in the NBA, play defense. Play defense, run the wings, make it easy for your teammates. Because here he's going to get it. And I'm actually going to take this back a little bit. This just shows how exceptional of a finisher RJ Barrett is and really has the potential to be. He catches the ball here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 Gonzaga guys right here. It's going to give a little Euro step to Perkins and then does a great job of getting his body in the way so the shot blockers can't even go up to contest his shot while still getting the and one. What I love about RJ Barrett's game, more so than the visible skills, is the passion that he plays with. This is a guy who people act like he's a selfish player, but I don't know if I've seen anyone support another superstar player the way that RJ Barrett has supported Zion Williamson and had a genuine friendship. It was never a thought that he was worried about losing his draft position playing with Zion. It was always about trying to win games. And I think that's what RJ Barrett really wants to do. And now here we're going to look at some of his vision to show that he's not really just a guy who can score the ball. Had 11 assists this game against Virginia Tech in the NCAA tournament. And we're going to see, already got a mismatch here. The point guard on him, screen's coming high. Now look how quickly he makes his read. Pick and roll game, like I said, RJ Barrett is going to be a big-time asset in the pick and roll game. Look at where the defense is at. All eyes on RJ Barrett, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. We're going to see in the back right here, Alex O'Connell, wide open. It's a quick pass. He waits any longer right here, Alexander Walker is going to see his eyes. He makes his pass at the perfect time. Nobody's going to be able to recover. Throws it just high enough to where it's only him. And that's just a great pass and great vision. Because, it's really his timing, I think, even more so than just what he sees. He has a feel and understanding for how to make guys, get to where they need to be. And he'll find guys off of his drives when he keeps his head up. It's definitely an if situation right now. And he'll learn as he continues to get more reps and really starts to look at more tape and see those situations like the Gonzaga game where he was trying to do too much. But here it's going to come again, same game. Love going left off the pick and roll. Coach K did a great job of drawing it up so he could attack off of this. And here, all right, nobody wants to help. He can get all the way to the rim. He's a guy that is a dual threat as a pick and roll ball handler because of that ability, right? Nobody comes over. You're not going to come over. He can split it strong enough, especially going to his left hand, and that's a problem. But now, keeping that in mind, the reason why it's so dangerous to be a dual threat is now, all right, because you can score, and they're worried about that, averaging 23, 24 points a game. Now you got Blackshear's eyes all on you. You got Zion down here as well. But again, all eyes on the ball. Not worried about Trey Jones, been shooting poorly. O'Connell, on and off throughout the season. Doesn't matter. Got a super athlete down there and he's going to throw it up. And what I also want to mention about just RJ Barrett in the pick and roll game and as a playmaker all season is he's passing to guys who are shooting, 30% and below from three. He's passing to a Trey Jones who shot sub 30%. O'Connell was actually one of the better shooters, but Jack White teetered off as the year went on. Zion, not a great three-point shooter. Even Cam Reddish struggled. That's difficult as a playmaker when you're passing to guys who are not making the shots. And sometimes him taking those contested twos was a better chance of them getting points than him making those passes. That's just great touch on the pass. Obviously, you're throwing to a tremendous athlete in Williamson. But the fact that he has his eyes there and is at least looking is impressive. Now, if I'm coaching against RJ Barrett, I'm trying to make him go right every single play. I don't want him going left at all. I don't care if you have to stand on one side and we have to try to double him with a low hedge off these pick and rolls. Doesn't matter. He doesn't like finishing with his right. If he goes right, it's generally to go right into a pull-up jump shot. So here we're going to see a defensive breakdown by Virginia Tech, a good defensive team. But you're also going to see RJ make a quick decision because he's been going left all game off these pick and rolls. Zion's coming up. This is really good play design if you think about it. You got to kind of pay attention to O'Connell over here. Blackshear's up with Bolden. We're going to have Trey Jones coming off some action over here. No rim protection. So instead of the roll defender being right here like I would expect, RJ Barrett's going to have a lane. Yeah, come over with that help. He is athletic enough, has enough hang time, and he can finish that. And what I really like about the decision is it was not a hesitation. He gets the ball, and he sees where the feet are at for the defender, right? This foot's higher. All he's got to do is beat him one step, and he's going to have that lane to the basket. And again, the help's coming. Defenders kind of run into each other, and he can hang and he can finish. And it's really little things about RJ Barrett's passing that really stand out to me. So right here, you probably won't see it in the screen, but Alex O'Connell is going to be in the corner. And RJ Barrett's going to get it. All it took was that little dribble. These are the small things that I think people don't look at when they see RJ Barrett. He's a high IQ player, high intellect. By him taking this attack dribble right here, he's going to force the help to come. Chukwu's going to be here, and we're going to see overcommitting right there from Elijah Hughes. And now Alex O'Connell has that much more space just by that one dribble to the middle of the lane. And that's a wide open three. Right, and I just want to keep showing these pick and rolls because I think when you look at guys and people are saying, they see a lefty, they want to say, well, he's not James Harden. Yeah, you're right, he's not. He has kind of a different game than Harden does. But the thing that they both have that's similar is neither is a particularly overwhelming athlete, but both are incredibly intelligent. And I think RJ Barrett could really learn a lot from studying Harden's game. I think mentally he has a little bit of Kobe in him in the fact that no matter how bad he's shooting, he's still coming at you 100%, 100 miles an hour, no matter what, ready to take the big shot. So here we're going to see a pick and roll. Going is going to be slow. Again, Cassius not paying attention. Xavier Tillman's going to be locked over to Zion. Nobody to take the roll man. And I know to even mention RJ Barrett and Kobe in the same sentence, people are like, that doesn't make any sense. What are you talking about? And I'm talking about from a mentality standpoint, just as a guy who is relentless. And he's going to show people in the league how hard he works. And he's going to show people why he was a top player in last year's recruiting class. Just an excellent competitor, and it's really going to bring a lot out of his teammates. Here, we're going to see, again, a little handoff, coming to his left hand again. He's about to have, some space to operate, because no one ever wants to overhelp and leave Zion. So drives coming, really nice hesitation. Now you got 7'6" coming over. You got to have that touch right there. It has to be right there, or that shot's getting blocked. Again, just this little hang right here is enough to get Zion's defender to roll back to him. Now when he drives, it's a decision he has to make, really gets stuck in no man's land, but he gets his shot off before Taco Fall can get off the ground. That allows him to finish that. And the last thing I want to talk about, and I said I would earlier, is RJ Barrett's outside shot, specifically from three-point range. Shot only around, low 30s from three. A lot of inconsistent games. A lot of games where he would settle for those contested pull-ups, hand in his face. A lot of them came off flat, but I think it's a technical issue with his shot that he can fix. And when it's right, it's right. Here we're going to see he gets time and space against Syracuse. Great game against Syracuse. He had about 30 points against them. And here he knocks down a triple. But now when we look at the replay, I just want to take a look at his form. Because when he takes that shot, one motion, up, cash. But now when they show it again, the balance is there. RJ Barrett typically has his shoulders square when he takes spot ups. When he's coming off the dribble, that's when it can get a little off. But the motion is actually improved over what it was when he was in high school. When he was in high school, the motion was a little more erratic. But, his form is there. And as he gets more reps, and I know as he trains even more, it's going to be a reliable shot. Because as the year went on, there was still inconsistency, but I saw more consistency in how his shot looked, and that's all that I wanted to see. Sometimes when he shoots these threes, especially coming off the dribble, he'll be flat-footed, or only one of his feet will be, only one of his heels, will be like elevated off the ground. And the importance of that is it gives you more power if you can get your heels off the ground a little bit more when you shoot. And we're going to see, you can't zoom in right here, but here he's going to get straight up and down, totally in rhythm, knock it down. He needs to make sure he gets more arc on that shot, but he's going to be able to make NBA threes. I know some people are questioning it. Some people say, well, there's certain guys. I've heard Michael Kidd-Gilchrist never learned how to shoot, or Ben Simmons never learned how to shoot. RJ Barrett's a guy who has been able to make threes, made a couple threes a game. This is not the same situation. This is a guy who's just inconsistent from three. Didn't make as many as he probably wanted to, but it's going to come. He can make them off the dribble. He can make them in spot-ups, and the full scoring package is there. And that's why I think at the end of the day, RJ Barrett is a guy with all-star potential, should be a top 3 pick, and depending on where he goes, he could be an immediate 20-point scorer in the NBA.